Good evening, hello my beautiful subscribers. This is Jeannie and it's Jeannie Signatures. So today I'll be making this beautiful gypsy or tiered gown, whatever you call it. That is what I'll be making today with a turtleneck and a puff sleeves. So if this is what you're interested in, please kindly watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. So without wasting much time, I'm just going to be dashing over to the cutting table where I'll be showing you the details. So this is quite beginner friendly, so if you're interested, if you're a beginner, please kindly watch so that you learn one or two things. Yeah, so let's get right into it. So I will be making use of my pattern paper to cut out this, and then I'll be cutting out on my paper. The only problem I had was that I will be making use of a biro or a pen I could call it, because I don't have a marker again. I've not bought my marker. I forgot. So every time I go to I just forget to buy it. So please kindly manage this pen. Just follow as I'm doing it and then you understand. It's just cutting out the basic bodies. So that is just what it is all about. So I'll just be cutting out the front and the back piece together. So I folded the paper. I didn't fold this paper into two. I made it single so that I won't waste my paper, because this is the only paper I have at hand. So that is why I'm not folding it into two. But when I want to cut up my fabric, I'll make sure I fold it into two. So I'm getting my shoulder divided into two, and then I'm adding half inch for my sleeve allowance, and then I'll be coming down by 8.5 for my armhole. That is what I'm marking there, and whatever I marked on my shoulder, I'm marking it here so that I'll be able to roll a straight line to that effect. So I'll be connecting the lines as you see me do, and then I'll dash that house as my armhole. So you should be used to all this by now, especially our beginners, not to talk of our advanced people. So now I'll be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and then for the neck width, because this is going to be a turtleneck, so you don't make it too wide, I'm going to be making use of 2.75, that's 2 3/4. So for the back depth, I'll be making use of 1 inch, and then for the front depth, I'll be making use of 3 inches respectively. So let me connect my shoulder slope first, and then I'll be carving out my neck depth for the front piece first, and then I'll be doing that for the back depth as well. And so the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be dividing my armhole into two in order to get the midpoint, and then come in by half an inch, and then I'll carve that out for my front armhole, and then of course for the back armhole I'm just going to be carving out the normal. So before I do that, I'll be dividing my bust measurement into 4, which is 10, and then I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'll be carving that out. I'll cover the front armhole first, and then I'll cover it for the back armhole as well. And so I'll be going over to my waist area. And so for my waist measurement, I'll be simply dividing that as well into 4. So whatever that is, I'm going to be marking that. And then I'll be adding 1 inch for that, and then 2 inches for my sewing allowance. And so I'll be connecting from my bust to my waist. So we are basically through with that. So I just want to get my dart here, so I will get in the bust band measurement, which is of course the nipple to nipple, and then right there on the chest area I just want to draw that out. I'll be coming down by 2 inches from my chest line in order to get my dart. And so on that dart, I'll just be taking a half inch and then I'll slant it to that. And so we have our dart. So now I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So I'll be cutting out the back piece first, like the back armhole and then the back neckline. That is what I'll be cutting out first. And then I'll cut out the back neckline. And then on the shoulder slope, please kindly add half an inch for your shoulder joining. So I added that as I was cutting it out, so I didn't cut out the 1 inch. I cut out half an inch and left half an inch for sewing allowance. And so yeah, I want to notch, to give this a notch so that automatically I'll have my back, that there's no need for me to it flew away because of the fan. So I'll be adjusting the front neckline and then of course the armhole for the front. So let me just get the back piece again, so I'll make some adjustments here. So I've already gotten it, so I just want to remove the bulginess that we usually see on the back from the zipper. So that is what I just want to do. I'm used to doing this. If you watch most of my tutorials, this is what I do. Just slant out half an inch, you cut it out. Don't worry, it's not going to be affecting your zipper allowance in any way. So just cut it out like that. So you need your zipper to sit perfectly at the back of your client. You don't want it bulgy and all. And then on the waist area, you're going to be coming up by half an inch, and then you slant it into the darts, and then you cut off. So that equally helps to sit on the waist perfectly. I always do this and it has always worked wonders, so you can try it out. So just cut out half an inch. It won't affect your half length as well, don't worry about it. By the time you finish sewing it, that is when you will understand all this. So yes, I'm through with this. I'll be cutting everything out on my fabric, which I've already done. As you can see, I've cut it out on the fabric and I've cut out the linings as well. So why I said this is beginner friendly, because this dart is just going to be the normal dart that we fix on our clothes. It's not a princess dart, it's not a bustier dart, it's just the normal dart. So this is very, very beginner friendly. So for that paper, it's of no use again. I've already used it to cut out my fabrics. And this is the back pieces, so I've already cut that as well. I've cut out the lining and everything, as you can see. So when you're cutting out these kind of things, please always ensure, especially when your fabrics have patterns, pattern arrangement is very, very important, especially when you're making clothes. You need to check the patterns first before cutting out. So I checked mine and I saw how the patterns were on the fabric, and I decided to arrange it the way I see it best. So now I'm just going to be running my turning my fabrics with the lining and imputing my darts. But for the neckline, I'm going to be leaving it like that because it's going to be a turtleneck. For the back, I'll turn my zipper allowance and then the side seams, put in my darts, join it at the shoulders, and of course I'll be right back to show you the next step. So I've gone ahead to do all that. As you can see, I've inserted the darts, I've turned my lining with my fabric, and I've even closed the half length because I ran a temporary stitch as my zipper allowance, and then I gave my clothes a closing, like I brought out the real measurements that I needed. So I'm going to be tearing this up because it's a loose stitch that I made there so that I'll be able to get my accurate body measurements and all. So this is how it looks. So you can see the patterns that I was telling you, that pattern arrangement is very important as an essential when you are making some kind of particular styles. So that was why I placed it like this, and it came out beautiful. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to fix the lower. That is the main point of this tutorial, that is the gypsy or the tiered lower part. So for the gypsy or the tiered lower part for my client is just going to be in 2 layers. This can come 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, 6 layers, any layer you want to go for, you can do it. So I just basically want to get my waist measurement with the zipper allowance. That was what I was measuring right there, because the first layer from the picture of my thumbnail, you see that the first layer does not really have much gathers on it. So I'm just going to be taking that, I'll just double it. Whatever the waist measurement is, I'll just double it. I just don't want it to be too gathered at the waist area. So I just want to give us a quick calculation of how this is done. So like now my client's full length is 57 inches, and then a half length is 16 inches. So when you subtract 57 from 16 inches, what you have is 41 inches. So that 41 inches is what we are going to be using for this lower part. And so in order for me to get it, because this is going to be a double flare, sorry, not flare, double tiered gown. So that 41, I'm going to be dividing it into 2, and that will give me 20.5. So the length I'm going to be working with for the 2 steps that I will be making is going to be 20.5 inches. And now for the width that I'll be making use of, like I explained, the first layer, I'm just going to be doubling it for the width. But for the lower part, I'm going to be tripling it. That is basically what I'm trying to explain there. I believe you understand me. For the first layer, they will have the same length, which is 20.5, which is 41 inches. And when you add that 41 to 16, that will give us the total length of the gown. But for the width that I'll be gathering, for the first layer, I'm going to be doubling the waist area. But for the lower part, I'm going to be tripling that, so in order for me to have more volume for the gathers. So that is what I explained there. So this is what I'll just be going off the camera to do, and then I'll be right back to show you how it looks. So yes, this is what I explained, and this is how it came out to be. So you can see that was the first layer. The first layer, like I told you, I doubled the width, but they have the same length, and for the lower part I tripled it. So what I made use of was 6 yards of this African print. But if you want yours to be fuller than this, please, you can make use of more than 6 inches. 6 yards, I beg your pardon, yes. So I'm through with all this. I've joined it to the half length, as you can see. So our clothes is taking shape. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to fold my fabric, the front facing the front, that is the front of the fabric, the right faces facing each other. I'll be arranging it like so. You can see the way I arranged the patterns on the fabric. It came out beautiful. Even my camera was just not doing justice to the beauty of this fabric, because it came out very beautiful. So I'm not attaching the zipper yet, because of course I'll be attaching my collar before attaching the zipper. I just want to run a stitch from where my zipper will stop. I will be running 1 inch all the way down, but I'm not attaching my zipper yet. I just want to know from where I'll be marking. Just start to mark that, so that I'll know where to run the stitch from to the length of the gown, so that when I want to fix my zipper later, I'll know where to stop. So that was the essence of that. So I'll just go right ahead. So after making all of these, I measured my client, because I measured her neck before making this clothes, and when I checked, everything was still okay. It was 15 inches and I got 15 inches exactly for a round neck. So ensure to measure your client when you want to do that. So now I just want to cut out the sleeves here. So the sleeves is above. So the length of the sleeve is 21 inches, but what I have is 22.5. So I just want to, so depending on how puffy you want it to be, you can see from the thumbnail it's not that puffy. So for mine, I just folded the fabric into two. I'm cutting the two sleeves together. So if on fold I have like 17 inches, and then I came down by 5 inches for the cap side, and then I drew an inverted S to that. So for the round sleeve, I'm just simply going to be, round sleeve is 9 inches. So instead of making it 9, I'll be doubling it. That is 9 divided into 2. That will give me 4.5. So instead of marking 4.5, I'm going to be marking 10 or 11 inches. That is what I marked because I need to double that up because I'm going to be adding an elastic band to that place, and that would compress it back to the normal size. So from that inverted S, I'll just be connecting to the lower round sleeve measurement that I have there. So it's very easy. There's nothing to this sleeve. Is very easy to make. So I'll be cutting this out. And then I'll cut out the armhole. So for this armhole area, what I'm going to be doing basically is just to be rolling a gather stitch around that area and then gather it to my round armhole measurement. And then for the lower part, I'll just fold it and then add my elastic band. So when I want to add my elastic band, I'll make sure that if my round sleeve is 9 inches, instead of cutting out a band, a rubber band, sorry, not rubber band, an elastic band of, instead of cutting out 9 inches, I won't cut out 9 inches, I would cut out like 7.5 or 8 inches so that I'll have that grip effect around my wrist area. So I'll be setting this aside, and then let me just go ahead and couple everything together and I'll be back to show you. So yes, you can see that the day is far gone here, so I was kind of rushing because it was already late. So I have fixed my collar. So if you want me to show you a tutorial on how to fix a very beautiful turtleneck collar, please kindly leave it in the comment section. So this is how it came out, and it came out beautiful. I love the finished look. It's all looking pretty. I added a lining to the lower part as well. Didn't open it up for you because I was in a rush. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, please kindly subscribe, share, leave a comment, and then please kindly share. Yeah. So thank you all, and God bless you, and watch out for my next tutorial. Love you all. So thank you, and see you on my next tutorial. Love you all. Kisses. This is Gina's Signatures, and I'm signing out. Bye.